Hello everyone, welcome to the second video. In this video we're going to be working with the Bliss statue and we're going to be achieving this look. I think the problem with the last video was that I was trying to open the layers on top of this image here. So make sure you're opening your files in a brand new file. Okay, so I have my foreground here and my background here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to undo it. Looks like I erased her a little bit. Okay. One thing that's good to show you guys is these palettes on the sides of the screen. If you ever need to find some of your palettes, if you just go up to Windows and Dockable Dialogues, you can find layers, brushes, colors. The ones that I like the most are the toolbox, obviously, the history palette, because this makes going back really easy. So if you make a mistake, the history palette's really good to work with. And then I also like the layers palette. Down here looks like the brushes palette is up. I don't necessarily need this, but it's okay that it's there. All right, so anyway, the first thing that we're going to do is select the foreground, select all, and I'm going to copy it, and then I'm actually going to delete the foreground. And the way you're going to do that is just left click on the layer and go down to delete layer. Okay, and then here I'm going to paste her on top. This is different from Photoshop. This is the only way that I've found to be able to erase the top layer and still be able to see the layer beneath it, like so. So in my experience of this program thus far is you have to select the layer, copy and paste it to be able to do this trick. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. So anyway, something to know about, I'm going to move my history palette back over here. Double click on the eraser tool and it'll give you a bunch of options for the eraser. You can change the size of the brush to make it bigger, like this. It'll make it easier to take out large areas that you don't need. And you can also change the hardness and the angle. The hardness is going to, actually the hardness is pretty important. If you look at this click, you can see this area is very soft. If I take the hardness, and usually you can, maybe if I change the number, what about hardness 100? Hardness 100, you'll be able to see a very hard edge. Okay. Actually, I would like to use that because I want to get close to her arm. I want to get close to her hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the size of my brush down quite a bit so I can get into these areas. And I can have a nice clean edge. Okay. So basically you can see the effect that I'm achieving here is just by getting rid of all the stuff on the foreground that I don't need to show the background underneath. And I'm not going to get it perfect this time because it takes a really long time to do and I don't want to bore you guys while I sit here and delete. And it looks like I got some of her hand by accident. So this is a good opportunity to show you that I just go over to the undo palette here and I just back up a little bit and I can see that I can bring her hand back. Okay. Okay, so I'll just try this again. Hopefully on your computer the mouse isn't slow. You can see on mine the circle is still here even though I'm moving the cursor down. It should not do that. The circle should follow your cursor around like this. I'm experiencing some computer problems today, which is unfortunate, but I think it's because I have so many programs running at the same time. But you guys can still get the idea. Oh, I just cut off her leg. Here we go. Don't want to amputate her. So just take your time if you're layering images on top of each other, you know. Listen to some music. Get into a meditative Zen state. This could take a while. If you want to get it perfect. And if you want to get it perfect, the way to do it is to keep reducing the size of your eraser brush. So if you just keep going down in size, you can get even closer and closer to the image. I'm not really excited about the choppiness of this right now, but for time's sake, I will stop doing this in just a minute. All right. So like I said, to get it perfect, this is probably going to be one of the time-consuming parts of the project. But, you know, like I said, it's pretty easy. Just take your time going around. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with this for the tutorial. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move her. I selected this one. I'm gonna move her down. I'm also going to rotate her. Maybe like that much. Hit rotate. No. Okay. Go back to the move tool. All right, here is the part that's really important. I'm going to add a new layer. If it will let me. This program is very, very tricky sometimes. All right, let me see if I can just work with the paste it layer. Right now she's on a paste it layer. And if I click this one, anchor it. Yeah. So it's anchored. Oh, but I don't want to do that because it's anchored it to the background. So that's actually not what I want to do. Hold on just a second. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to go up to mode and see if this works. And it does. Okay. So you're just working on the paste it layer until you're ready to anchor it to the background. So what I just did is I went to mode here, and this is really great. This is going to add all kinds of effects to your layer. Screen is going to make it light. Overlay is going to make it a little bit darker. These are good if you just want to add texture to a background. If you've ever seen like an image with like a texturized background, this is how they do it. They take an image and they impose it on the background, and they add a mode like overlay or soft light or hard light. So you can see all these different effects. For this one, I chose to use multiply because I like the way it looked just being darkened like that. So I chose multiply, and you guys can choose whatever you want after you have your image pasted on and you've deleted all the areas that you don't want. You can apply a mode, and then the opacity here is going to also change the effect, as you can see. Yeah, and then you can move it around to wherever you want it to be. Okay, another thing that I did in the final one here, as you can see, I spent a lot of time getting in there, deleting all the stuff that I didn't want before I put the mode multiply on there. Another thing that I did, guys, is I added some color to the background. I thought it was kind of dull, so I'm gonna go ahead and anchor this down now so I can work on the background. I also wonder if I can, I'm gonna try something impromptu here. I'm gonna try to copy it again. And then try to delete this. I'm really trying to get her on her own layer. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it's still a floating selection, but maybe this time if I anchor it, it'll anchor onto the second layer. Or now it's not wanting to anchor it at all. Oh, good. There it is. Got it. Okay, good. Whew. So play around with that, guys. It wasn't actually very easy for me either. This program is very, very particular. It's hard for me not to go in here and fix all this. Okay, anyway, so with this layer, I'm going to go up to multiply. Okay, and now I'm happy with the color and the darkness and all that with this layer, so I want to leave this layer alone. I'm going to go down to the background layer, and I want to show you guys, if you go to the layer and then you left click, go to all of these options, filters. No, not filters. Colors? Yeah, okay, colors. All right, go to colors, and then hue and saturation. This is where you're going to be able to manipulate the color and the saturation and the lightness of your image. So I just want to bump up the saturation. I want it to be a little more colorful. Maybe a little lighter too. Okay. So that's really quite a bit. Sometimes I go overboard with saturation, but I just like my pictures really, really colorful. So then hit OK. And there you have it. And then you can, I'll move her around wherever I want her to go. This is okay for now. Okay. And then the last thing I did on the final copy was I added some text, and I just went here. And as you can see, I'm really having some technical difficulties here. You can see that my text palette is just not showing up at all. So I'm just going to see if this even works. Okay, well that's good. So then I put in my message as a postcard. Okay. And then here again, you can change. Actually, I think there's a dockable dialog for fonts. If you go to Windows and dockable dialogues, you can go to fonts, and then all this stuff will come up. And we can choose something fun. Okay. That has kind of an old Western feel to it. How about the romantique? I like that one. Okay. And let's see. Okay, so that's just an example. And as you can see in the final one, using all these techniques, this was the final look that I achieved. So yeah, guys, good luck with GIMP. It can be tricky. Or maybe it's just my computer. I don't know. Maybe it's time for me to get a new computer. What do you think? Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching through the glitches and some of the problems that came up. But um, even with the problems, GIMP is still a pretty good program. You can achieve a lot of the same things you can achieve in Photoshop. And I hope you guys were able to learn some of the techniques that I used. If any of this wasn't clear, please feel free to email me. I would love to help you guys out. So yes, thanks for watching and good luck. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kinds of collages you guys come up with. So yeah, great. Thanks. See you later.